Hallo, ek is Iti. Welkom by my kanaal waar ons als saam doen. I've had a very interesting request on the channel of somebody that said it's very difficult to pronounce the HULLE, and also that same person struggles with the word JULLE. So I thought in this video I'll help you guys a little bit to practice the pronunciation for HULLE and JULLE, how it differs and why we pronounce it as we do. And I hope that this will help you guys a lot with this particular pronunciation. Also, if there are other things you struggle with pronunciation-wise, please let me know in the comment section and I can make more videos just like this one. So you will see to the one side we have the two letters, the H and the Y. Now to pronounce the H, H is a sound where you blow or push the air forward. Your tongue is at the bottom of your mouth and the air sort of hits here, the back of your tongue, and then goes forward, but there's no movement with the tongue. It doesn't touch the top or anything else. It's just huh, huh, and you sort of push the air forward, huh, and then the air hits the back here, and then it goes forward. So that's huh. Then you have yeah. Yeah is the same sort of situation because the tongue is still at the bottom. You're still blowing air forward, but the yeah, you sort of press the tongue down. Huh, the tongue just lies there. For yeah, you are pressing the tongue down and the air pushes over and the tongue pushes to the back side. So like yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think the tongue pushes against the teeth at the bottom as well. Yeah, huh, yeah, huh. So that's the difference in the two sounds. I hope this makes sense. I hope this helps. Maybe all of you can already say huh and yeah, but that is how to pronounce those two. All right, so let's move on to the actual words. We'll take a look at HULLE first. And there are some parts of HULLE that's weird in that we pronounce it differently from how it's written. And some of us pronounce it more correctly than others. So it just depends on how in a rush you are. So HULLE is the Afrikaans for they and them. You'll use it in both contexts. HULLE has two syllables. The first one is HULLE and the second one le. Now already there's confusion because HULLE, fine, usually people get why it's pronounced that way, but le, we pronounce le as in L-I, the Afrikaans l-e. We pronounce it as l-e. We do not pronounce it as l-e. So we don't say hulle, we say hulle. Right, so this goes for julle as well. We don't say julle as it's spelled. We say julle as in l-e. Julle, hulle, and not hulle. So that is a big confusion, and that happens in a lot of Afrikaans words. We, in fact, mostly, when a word ends on l-e, we pronounce it l-e. So it'll be le and not le. So I hope that clears up a lot of the confusion for you there. So we do have the two syllables, whole, le, right? But then we do pronounce when we speak. We sort of just leave out the one L. The faster we speak, the more we tend to not pronounce both L's. So we'll say hulle, 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 right? So we don't say hulle. We should, but we don't because we are in a rush. It should be hulle, hulle, hulle. But inevitably when you speak, you don't really pronounce a double L. It's just a single L. So it'll be hulle, 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 hulle. So that is how you can practice it, remembering that the l-e is pronounced l-e, hulle. And then julle, which is the plural you. How are you guys doing? Hoe gaan dit met julle? So the plural you is julle. We do the same thing. Julle is the pronunciation, technically, the two syllables. Again, pronouncing l-e as l-e. Julle. Julle, Julle. But then when we speak, we say julle. Julle, 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 julle. So that is what's going on there with that whole situation, and I hope this helps. And you'll hear us speak often when we speak. We gaan met julle, 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 and we start pronouncing the more like a julle, and not julle. So there's the other thing that also happens. The pronunciation is julle, julle, but we end up saying julle, I and an I. So if you hear that, it's still the word hulle and julle that you're looking for, but we start mispronouncing the like a. So that also happens. Lastly, a few sentences to show you how to use it and how we would use it, and I'm going to pronounce these sentences as we would in conversation. Incorrectly. I'm going to say it how we use it. Just so that you can hear what's going to come out in conversation and what's not going to come out, it's not academically correct. All right, so we'll just say, hulle is thuis. Hulle is thuis, and not hulle is thuis. Hulle is thuis. And that's they are home. Julle is baie vriendelik. Julle is baie vriendelik. You are very friendly. Ek gaan môre by hulle kuier. Ek gaan môre by hulle kuier. I'm going to visit them tomorrow. Wil julle McDonald's hê? Wil julle McDonald's hê? Do you want McDonald's? Hulle is oud. Hulle is oud. They are old. And lastly, ek verstaan nie julle taal nie. Ek verstaan nie julle taal nie. I don't understand your language. There we have it then. If any of this was helpful to you, if this was the correct way to approach the pronunciation, please let me know in the comment section. Did this help you? Do you even need more? And are there other words or sounds that you still struggle with that I haven't touched on the channel that you would like me to touch on? Okay, let me know. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video.